So back in 2019, when you worked at Disney, the Disney Corporation, you could expect a long and pretty stable career. It's a huge company, lots of things you could keep doing there at a pretty good salary. And the only cost would be you have to follow the rules.
Win big against Disney. Lawsuit discovery battle. Judge orders Disney to hand over actors' pay records. Boy, we're going to learn what everybody made on these to see exactly how much they stole from the great Gina Carano. Again, a character that everybody loved.
She was Disney's rising star, a fan favorite warrior in a billion-dollar galaxy. But one tweet shattered everything. They tried to silence her, but now she's fighting back with Elon Musk's legal dream team, and the empire is starting to crack. If you thought Rachel Zegler's ego was massive, just wait until you hear how massive Gina Carano's courtroom victory is. This one's a game changer. Before the controversy, before the headlines, Gina Carano was on top of the world. She wasn't just another face in Hollywood, she was the breakout star of The Mandalorian. Playing Cara Dune, she brought something rare to the screen: strength, grit, and an unapologetic edge that fans couldn't get enough of. She wasn't manufactured like most modern characters, she felt real.
I don't worship your business, and my God is bigger than Disney, so this is where I'm at.
A warrior who could take down a battalion with her bare hands and still crack a smile afterward. Inside Disney, whispers started almost immediately. Carano was a hit. Talks of a Cara Dune spin-off series began circling the executive offices. She was on track to lead her own corner of the Star Wars universe, a potential multi-million-dollar franchise with her at the center. Merchandise, appearances, red carpets. It was all coming. But Carano wasn't built for corporate obedience. Unlike so many Hollywood stars who fall in line, smile for the cameras, and stick to the script, she had something Disney wasn't ready for: a mind of her own. And in a world where image is everything, that became a problem. The studio that once called her the future of Star Wars suddenly went silent. Meetings were canceled, phone calls stopped, public appearances dried up. And without warning, she went from leading lady to persona non grata.
Gina Carano was a popular MMA fighter who did 7 episodes of the show Mandalorian playing the character of Cara Dune.
All it took was one message that shattered everything she'd built. But that wasn't the end of her story. One minute, Gina Carano was riding high as a fan favorite in the Star Wars universe. The next? She was scrubbed from press releases, cut from future projects, and tossed into Hollywood exile. All because of one tweet that was deemed too political for Disney. Within hours, her name was trending not because of a movie, but because she was being publicly canceled. The backlash was swift, brutal, and organized. Hashtags called for her firing. Outlets labeled her dangerous. And then came the corporate guillotine. Lucasfilm released a cold, clinical statement. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. They claimed her social media posts were abhorrent. No context, no apology accepted, no discussion. But here's what they didn't say out loud. Disney had been waiting for a reason, because this wasn't her first offense, not in their eyes. Carano had already stirred controversy by refusing to put pronouns in her bio.
Did you see, Stu, that Gina Carano has just won a lawsuit against Disney?
Yeah, that doesn't normally happen, does it?
No, it really...
Disney has some big lawyers.
No.
Making jokes about lockdowns and questioning certain political narratives. To the company obsessed with controlling its brand image, she was a liability. To millions of fans, she was refreshingly real. But Disney doesn't operate on fan approval, it moves by corporate consensus. And in their world, Gina had crossed the invisible line. The one you're never told exists until it's too late. She was dropped from The Mandalorian, stripped of merchandise deals, and blacklisted overnight. But Gina Carano wasn't just going to vanish quietly. Hollywood has a formula for handling inconvenient stars. First, they drop you. Then, they erase you. And finally, they wait, expecting you to fade into irrelevance, too afraid or too broke to fight back. But Gina Carano doesn't follow scripts. She writes her own.
What an evil empire, man. Gina Carano had so much evil, vicious venom spat on her from Disney on the way out. People clearly had an agenda.
After Disney slammed the door, many thought she'd disappear. Instead, she took a different route, one that caught everyone off guard. She joined forces with the Daily Wire, launched her own film project, and started telling her side of the story. But behind the scenes, something even bigger was brewing. Enter Elon Musk. In a move that shocked the industry, Carano revealed that Musk's legal team reached out to her directly. The same lawyers who work for the world's most powerful tech billionaire were now backing her against the world's most powerful entertainment empire. It wasn't just support, it was strategy. With Musk's resources behind her, Carano had something few blacklisted stars ever get: the firepower to fight back. She filed a lawsuit against Disney and Lucasfilm for wrongful termination and political discrimination. Her claim was simple. Disney fired her not because she broke a rule, but because she wouldn't conform to an ideology. And the consequences weren't just personal. She says she lost millions in future earnings, including a lead role in a spin-off that was quietly shelved after her firing. Disney, of course, denied everything. But they didn't expect what came next, because Carano wasn't just demanding money. She was demanding evidence, emails, pay records, internal decisions, everything they used to justify wiping her off the map.
It says Gina Carano wins big against Disney in lawsuit discovery battle. Judge orders Disney to hand over actor pay records within 20 days.
And suddenly, the company that owns everything had something to fear. When Gina Carano filed her lawsuit, it wasn't just a legal move. It was a direct hit on Disney's fortress of control. Most stars would have walked away, maybe written a tell-all down the line. But Gina, she wanted receipts. She demanded access to internal documents, emails, private communications, casting decisions, and most explosively, actor pay records. In other words, she wanted to pull back the curtain on how Disney really operates. Who gets paid what, and why? And whether there was a pattern of punishing anyone who stepped out of line. At first, Disney brushed it off. They tried to block, delay, deflect. They claimed the lawsuit was baseless, but the judge didn't buy it. In a rare blow to the entertainment giant, the court ruled in Carano's favor. Disney was officially ordered to turn over everything: actor compensation, private emails, and decision-making records from The Mandalorian, Andor, and even upcoming Star Wars projects. It was a bombshell ruling, and the implications? Massive. If those documents show that Carano was set to earn millions before she was dropped, or that other stars were protected while she was punished, it could change everything. It wouldn't just be a wrongful termination case, it would be evidence of ideological retaliation, discrimination, and corporate hypocrisy at the highest level. But here's where it gets even messier. Instead of complying, Disney dragged its feet. For 8 months, they dodged deadlines, delayed production of documents, and acted like some files didn't even exist. The same company that can build billion-dollar theme parks overnight suddenly couldn't find a spreadsheet. Suspicious?
Discovery motion granted. That's right. In the Gina Carano case against Disney.
Gina Carano had a promising career where she was going to get her own Star Wars show, but then she was fired, but now she's fighting back, suing Disney.
More than that, it was downright revealing, and the court wasn't having it. A second order came down. Disney had 20 days to hand over the goods, or face serious consequences. This time, the mouse was cornered. For Disney, this isn't just about one actress or one lawsuit. This is about everything they've built decades of branding, carefully managed public image, and a reputation wrapped in magic and morality. And now, it's all at risk. If the records Gina Carano demanded show she was unfairly lowballed, excluded, or punished for her personal views, it could unravel a dangerous thread, one that points to political bias, selective enforcement, and a culture of corporate retaliation. Worse, it could reveal that other actors who stayed on script were rewarded, while those who didn't were quietly buried. Suddenly, the story isn't just Gina versus Disney, it's about every silenced voice in Hollywood industry. Insiders are already whispering about the panic brewing inside the House of Mouse. Executives are reportedly split. Some want to pay Carano off quietly, bury the documents, and move on. Others are digging in their heels, terrified that settling would admit guilt and set a precedent. If Disney caves now, what stops every fired actor from suing? This is more than a legal battle. It's a war for control. And the cost? Massive. We're talking about the risk of hundreds of millions in future lawsuits, potential shareholder backlash, public protests, and a PR disaster that could stain Disney's legacy for years. Because if even one email, just one, confirms what Carano is alleging, Disney could be facing a credibility collapse on a global scale. But here's the thing. Gina doesn't seem interested in a quiet payout. She's not negotiating in the shadows. She's not backing down. She wants transparency. And if she gets it, Disney might not be able to close Pandora's box once it's open. Behind the red carpets, the glitzy premieres, and the family-friendly slogans lies one of Hollywood's dirtiest open secrets. If you don't think like them, you don't work. Insiders have whispered about it for years: lists, quiet warnings, career-ending calls. Directors mysteriously stop returning emails. Agencies back off, projects disappear. No explanation, no second chances. You just stop getting hired. And for those who ask why, the answer is always the same. It's just business. But what Gina Carano is doing now could force Hollywood to say the quiet part out loud.
Someone like Gina Carano, who's a fighter by trade, and who's like actually a beloved, strong female character that Disney had. Like Disney had one universally appreciated strong female character, and they destroyed her for nothing. There was nothing wrong with Gina Carano's post. Nothing wrong. Nothing.
Her lawsuit cuts deeper than personal grievance. It challenges an entire system built on narrative control. If she proves that her firing was ideological, not based on misconduct or professional failure, but on opinion alone, it will confirm what many already suspected, that studios like Disney enforce conformity behind closed doors. And here's why that matters. Carano isn't just fighting for herself. She's kicking at the foundation of an awesome, unspoken Rule 1 that's allowed powerful studios to blacklist dissenters while claiming moral high ground. Her legal team is already hinting at something bigger. If the documents Disney turns over show a pattern, one that punishes talent for their beliefs while protecting others who align with the company's message, it won't just be damaging, it'll be devastating. Imagine the lawsuits that could follow, the careers that could be revived, the studio heads who'd suddenly have to answer for years of silent censorship. And that's exactly why the industry is sweating. Because this case isn't just about The Mandalorian or a lost spin-off, it's about control. And if Gina Carano cracks that system open, there's no telling what or who might come out. For decades, Disney has worn an untouchable shine, a brand built on dreams, nostalgia, and the illusion of innocence. No matter what went wrong behind the scenes, the public saw only castles, fireworks, and smiling characters. But now, that armor is cracking. Gina Carano's lawsuit isn't just another PR problem, it's a battering ram aimed straight at the foundation of Disney's carefully crafted empire. And the more they fight it, the more the cracks start to show. The court's 20-day ultimatum isn't just a deadline, it's a doomsday clock. If Disney complies, they risk exposing everything: pay disparities, internal bias, possibly even a blueprint for how the company chooses who rises and who gets erased. If they don't comply, the consequences could be worse sanctions, jury instructions that imply guilt, or even full-blown exposure of what they were so desperate to hide.
8 months ago, Disney took a massive loss in their battle against Gina Carano, whom they fired unlawfully, by the way, for her political opinion.
And while the mainstream media yawns and turns the other way, online, it's a different story. YouTubers, independent creators, and alternative news outlets are watching this like hawks. Not because it's about Gina Carano, but because it's about all of us. About what happens when massive corporations try to control speech, thought, and talent. And about what it looks like when one person decides not to bend the knee. Disney used to control the narrative, but in the age of digital media and decentralized voices, that grip is slipping fast. And if the documents Carano requested actually see daylight, this won't just be a PR nightmare. It'll be a turning point in how Hollywood power works. This case might not destroy Disney, but it could destroy the illusion that they've been hiding behind for years. For years, Disney has operated like a kingdom above the clouds, untouchable, unshakable, immune to the rules that govern everyone else. But now, a single lawsuit is threatening to bring that castle crashing down. Gina Carano isn't just asking for money, she's demanding truth. And the moment Disney is forced to hand over those documents, the world could finally see what's been hiding behind the fairy tale.
In 2021, for all of these people, this Disney and Lucasfilm, to make me really think about, oh, geez, where is my line? That's not what I want to say, and that's not what I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Favoritism, manipulation, ideological enforcement, and a blueprint for silencing voices that don't fit the narrative. This case isn't just about Carano. It's about every artist, every voice, and every career that's been quietly erased because it didn't align with corporate messaging. It's about whether the world's most powerful entertainment company can be held accountable, or whether its size and influence are enough to bury the truth forever. If the court rules in Carano's favor, the ripple effects could reshape Hollywood. Suddenly, other performers might step forward. More lawsuits, more secrets revealed, and a new era where studios can't hide behind branding and billion-dollar mascots to silence dissent. But if Disney escapes, if they dodge accountability again, it sends a message louder than any courtroom ruling, that power protects itself, and no amount of talent, success, or public support can save you if you say the wrong thing at the wrong time. So as the clock ticks on this 20-day deadline, the world is watching, not just for spreadsheets or pay records, but for the truth about what really happens when you challenge the system. Will Gina Carano expose the empire, or will Disney find a way, once again, to sprinkle some magic dust over the chaos and make it all disappear? Only time will tell. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.